Libra. Welcome to a special reading called Three of Swords Tarot Spread for delving into a heartbreak. The person who created this is on Instagram at Lightwands. Thank you to her for this creation. I got it off of Pinterest. My one-stop shop for tarot spread ideas. Okay. So I'm just going to lay out the cards. This is a Light Seers Tarot deck in case you're interested. And then I will tell you about each position. This actually is a very, this deck, I have used it once before. And having used it now for the second time, it is pretty substantial, the cards, because it came out, I don't know, it's a pretty new deck, and I think it came out last year or something, and it got a lot of criticism for being, for the cards being very thin and easy to tear and stuff like that, and I believe they came out with a second print run, and they put like a coating on it, and it makes them much better. So they improved on it. Ooh, look at the death card. Isn't that cool? Some of these cards I haven't drawn yet, so I'm still kind of discovering them. And sorry about the... oh, there it goes. Now you can see it a lot better. Okay, now we're in business. Okay, so the first position is what caused the heartbreak. So, Seven of Swords, very straightforward. This is a card of cheating. I love this depiction of it. This is a deck that's very faithful to the Rider-Waite, but it has its own twists. They're very imaginative, kind of modern designs, and I love that, squawking bird. So the Seven of Swords, you see the moon, and that is a symbol of deception. It's a card of deception. So cheating, lying, stealing even, physical theft can be a part of this card. The Seven of Swords can also be a card of somebody who wants to go their own way. The number 7 is a number of, I think you would call it, alone time, and you could say solitude, kind of meditation, contemplation. So perhaps with the swords, it is kind of like a meditative state. So maybe in some cases it isn't that the person was doing something wrong, it just is that they wanted to take some space for themselves. But I'm going to read it like deception, because I think that since this is heartbreak, I think that would be the more common, reaction to a situation like that. And you may have felt that the person should have respected you more. If you were the one, it really doesn't matter who was the one to break up with the other person, because, if you find out that your partner is cheating and you actually take the initiative to file for divorce or move out or ask them to move out or stop dating them, you're, the one who is actually giving them the heave-ho, but they were the one who started the ball rolling. So it's possible to feel sad about it even as you are doing something like that. So it's not really contradictory. Sorry, I have my laptop on the side so I can read these different positions. 2, what is unable to be seen about the heartbreak? So in other words, what are you in denial about? What could be hidden stuff that's going on that is not, behind the scenes? We have the Hermit. Okay, well, this card really speaks to, just like if this, this is a cool card. She's like levitating, I think. No, no, that's a top of a mountain. But, that goes along with the Seven of Swords if it's a card of meditation. So, yeah, and even you could be the one who is doing it. If you're having a spiritual awakening and you feel like you just want to be alone all the time and you don't want to even have a partner, even if the person, you get along with them and everything is hunky-dory, you might still feel like you need to be alone. And for a Libra person, you know that this is serious stuff because you tend to want to be with a partner. So this may be something that is uncharacteristic of you, and you're like even surprised yourself that you are so adamant about this. I was just reading somebody saying, I've been taking a long time for myself and blah, blah, blah. And it was actually a person I think who is a Libra. So for some of you, let me see. Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking astrologically what could be going on. And I feel like with Uranus in that 8th house, potentially for you, in Taurus, that there may be even like spontaneous spiritual experiences that occur that are connected to your intuition, to the 8th house. It can relate to magic, magical dealings and things like that. And even with intimacy, which is what the 8th house also specializes in death, you may start to have kind of far out ideas about these things, and you may feel like we don't own each other. Nobody owns one another, and I don't really want to be like that. And this, like I said, would be very uncharacteristic of a Libra. But if somebody's going through a spiritual awakening, they can do all sorts of things that, would surprise them, that are out of character for them. So wanting to take space and be by yourself. This card is connected to Virgo, so maybe if that other person has someone who is a Virgo in their life, or strong Virgo tendencies, that might be what is happening. And Virgo is also the critic. So sometimes, as strange as this may sound, if you really have a partner that you feel that you treated like gold, and that person repaid your kindness by cheating on you, you might be like scratching your head and saying, why would that person do that? After all I've done for them, I've been so loyal, I've been so encouraging. And sometimes people don't feel deserving. And, so they are the one that kind of like the best defense is a good offense. And so they go and do something like that to kind of force you to break up with them. And then they can look and say, see, relationships never work out. And it's like it proves their point, but really they created the whole thing with their, behavior and their mindset, really. I mean, that's where it all starts. So the third position is, what was the lesson learned? And I have been saying maybe you're still with this person, but you're on the way out because you just feel like there is no common ground or what have you. What is the lesson learned? Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, 3 out of the 4 cards are like major arcana cards. I didn't even pay attention to that because these cards are so different. The Star card. This card is connected to Aquarius. Isn't this a beautiful depiction of the Star card? And you look, she's looking to the heavens. The Star card is about faith in unseen forces. And I think sometimes Libra tends to get to, it's not just getting plugged into the world per se, like a materialist, but getting so dependent on your significant other that you forget about your own dreams, because that can be, Aquarius rules the house of hopes and wishes. And this is like, you think, wish upon a star. So what are the dreams that you have that maybe you've been neglecting while you've been in a relationship that might have been a codependent relationship? Maybe the other person cheated and you were obsessed with their cheating. And now I'm thinking, do you have any inner planets in Scorpio that might have exacerbated that obsession? And the thing is, it's like, it hooks us in sometimes, even if it's very negative, because it might feel, I don't know, even like masochistic. It's like, depending on the person's self-esteem, they may be bonded with a situation. The more negative it is, the more they're invested in it. You've heard about people, and as a woman, I can speak for, other women who are not attracted to nice guys. They're attracted to people that treat them, disrespectfully. When they have a guy who treats them very nicely, they say, oh, he's so nice, and they're not interested. Well, that's a red flag. The Star card is about healing. And in the moment, it can feel like this is never going to happen. If somebody cheated on you and you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't get over this, and you will. And what that does is it makes you understand that nobody can break you. Nobody can convince you that you're not good enough because they chose to cheat. And this comes, this isn't something that is necessarily easy to step into, because, you may be somebody who is in an in-between state where there's a part of you that is gaining confidence, but you still have these memories of what a person did to you, and it makes you feel kind of bad. And that is part of the healing process too, is that you keep getting better, but then you might have a bit of a relapse and think that it's all just shot to hell, when in fact it's part of, it's not like a straight line. It's not linear. It's kind of like a spiral. And the spiral keeps going, further, wider lines, which might indicate detachment. But that doesn't mean that along the way, there aren't times when you might feel like, sometimes you might even feel like you're kind of backsliding a little bit. And you have to just kind of keep your eyes on the prize, that healing is yours, even if you don't see it in this moment. And the fourth position is, what is the first step needed to move forward to healing? Well, I think that was kind of the first step, is acknowledging that there's more to life than meets the eye, and that you have to have faith in unseen forces, including your spirit guides and things like that, but also faith that you can recover from something when in the moment it may be very acute. So, the Death card. And you notice that they have the symbol for eternal life, that sideways 8, but then they have rebirth, which I really love. I've never seen that in another deck before. So the first step you need to take, is to realize when something is truly over. So that, let's say you've been married, and now you're separated, but you still go back a few times a week and you reconnect. Perhaps you are always texting each other. You're like kind of still in each other's lives in a big way. And then something happens and you kind of pull back more. And that can lead to a very, very slow disengagement. Maybe in some cases that's exactly what you need to do, but in other cases it might be too much involvement. So healing, it's like, how can I miss you when you're never gone? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So if the other person is, if there's a situation where you really do want to be with somebody and perhaps they have been having an affair, for instance, and you do not want to put up with that. You don't want to share your partner with somebody else. One thing that might be a great way to not only heal yourself, but also give that person a crash course education in, how valuable you were in their life, is by stepping away from it. So maybe you can have an agreement with yourself. I'm not going to contact this person for 30 days. In some cases, you might even tell that person if if they would be very surprised not to hear from you because you are in contact so much. It's just to say, I'm going to give you some time to kind of like deal with your own situation, and I'm not going to be in the picture for the next 30 days or the next 40 days because, you have this other relationship, and I want to give you more clarity by kind of bowing out. And really what you're doing is that you're not part of the drama anymore. You've kind of like removed yourself from the equation. So now that person has to deal with their partner one-on-one. And that can be a time when they realize that it's not all it's cracked up to be, that the lover's triangle is more of an ego stroke for them, that they have these people fighting over them. Because sometimes that's why people cheat. It could be as simple as they want to feel important in life. And it's kind of like a way to feel like you matter, that they matter to somebody else, that they're desirable, that kind of thing. And when there's another party involved, it can feel really great, I'm sure, to have two people fighting over them. So if you remove yourself from the equation, you're unplugging yourself from it. So your energy comes back to yourself. It's not being dissipated through some kind of fake drama. Okay, so to move forward, you have to know when it's truly over, and even if you kind of regret that it happened and blah blah blah, you still are willing to acknowledge that it's over with and that you're not trying to cling to something that is not in the cards, pardon the pun. And that way you can concentrate your energy on something that is more productive. And for a lot of you may feel this pull to be alone. And that would be awesome for any Leo. First I said Aries, and I said Leo. For any Libra person to consciously decide to take some alone time for contemplation. I'm so glad I got the Buddha there because it is right on time with that. Okay, that's what I have for you, Libra. And So I hope that you enjoyed this at the very least as I do this experiment. We'll see, people sometimes might want a love reading, but not necessarily for somebody who broke their heart. But this is just to perceive things in a new way. But if, I do all kinds of readings, and most are based on your astrological chart, you can check out what my offerings are. I'm promoting a double reading, natal chart interpretation with transits for the year, plus a full-length tarot reading for a special price called The Whole Enchilada, and I have other types of readings. The link is below for that, and thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.